Welcome to WoolTalk. My name is Anne Kalliomäki. I'm a story designer and Storification pioneer from Finland. This time on WoolTalk, I will be talking about StoryTree. This Storification process that I have created, this story-driven service design, includes the phases of finding the right story elements, that is the story tree, and then creating the core story for a company to use as a tool to design the customer experience into story experience. And then we can create the story identity book, and then we can turn our service environment into story stage, both digital and physical story stages we can create, and then we can turn our customer journeys into engaging story journeys, story paths, using dramatic storytelling. So that is the whole storification process and the different phases of the storification. But this time on WoolTalk, I will be talking about StoryTree process. So the story tree we use to define the story elements, and that is basically a process of being very clear on what is the core of your company. First, you need to kind of recognize the roots of your company's existence, why your company exists in the first place, what is the change that you want to provide in your customers' lives, in your environment, maybe in the world as large, and so on. What is the feeling and emotions that you want that your customers feel when they are connected with your company? That kind of questions we need to be very clear on, and definitely we need to know how is your company offering your service, your product different than what other companies are offering. And then from that basis we move on and we define who is the customer and what are the similarities between your different customer groups, your different customer profiles. And then we define what are your services and products, how are you serving your customer. And then from that point we move into the branches of the story tree, and we start mind mapping and recognizing what are the story elements that are already being in use at your company, marketing communications, at your products or service experience, everything that is going on in your company. We are trying to search what are the story elements already happening. And then from that point we move on doing some mind mapping and trying to define what story elements could kind of communicate what is in the roots of your story tree diamonds. So from that on we start defining the story elements and finding out what is the common red thread, what could be the core story we use as a tool to design your customer experience into a story experience. So, but that is another story. So that I will be talking about next time on WoolTalk. See you.